Hello, this is Talamir and welcome to another episode of Facebook Fix and Flip. In this occasion, we are working on an iPhone 11, and with this phone, I bought it for $60 off of Facebook. I've already got the screws out because I'm predicting that I'm going to be opening it. So with this phone, it was water damaged, and because of the water damage, we don't know how it's going to go, but I was told by the seller that it is boot looping. So let's see how this goes. To begin with, we do have some tools to test the charge port, and that's where I'm going to start off with first, but I'm also going to test the amperage draw. So let's just prep that first. I'm going to start off with just testing the Tristar tester. I don't think this would cause any issues, but I just want to go through all of my potential options first. Oh my. I can't even get this to go in the charge port. Is it really that bad? Oh, there we go. Okay. I think my Tristar tester has ran out of juice. Quick test. Passed. Turn that off, put this to the side and let it charge. Meantime, let's move on. I'm just going to take a look with this and see how it looks on here. I'm mostly doing these tests because I'm a little bit concerned about corrosion on the pins. Okay, I think that's okay. Let's use another phone just for to do testing on another one. That's interesting. So with this one, it's showing that the power pin is working, but with this one, it's showing that the pin here is not working. So I don't know if you guys can see all this clearly. I can try my best just to angle this, but I've been looking in the port, and just saying here, you can see the pins all look fine, they're straight. But if you go along here, straight, 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 here's the last pin. You see that right there? Far right. There's a pin that is very, very crooked. So that's why that particular pin is not the pin on my mechanic tester was showing that one was out. Now, would that be what would cause the phone to do boot loops? Maybe. I've got an easy way to test that. Remove the screen, and then, or at least partially remove the screen, toss in another battery, because the battery is probably going to be dead. We'll see quite quickly. I'll just try first to turn on the phone. I expect it to be dead. It is. And I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I want to call that famous last words. But the pin being off to the side is less concerning. More so, it's just not going to make a proper connection. And I can kind of feel that it's not working correctly either. It feels a little bit weird. So it does show it's charging, but I'm concerned about that one pin. It's not going to do what it's supposed to be doing. Not correctly, at least. You can see the charge on there. It's not terrible. I'm going to give it a little bit of time. Maybe the battery will charge up a little bit, but I have a suspicion that this battery may not be charging properly. It's just a theory, but for sure, I think this charge port needs to be replaced. Okay, the phone is just turned on, and it is definitely boot looping. I'm going to toss this on the heat pad now and get that screen off. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to first disconnect the current battery, put in a donor battery just to test, and then after that, I'm going to be disconnecting the charge port and seeing if the charge port is maybe what's causing it to boot loop. Alright, it is super hot. Whoa. I left it on. I wouldn't say it's too long because I am concerned about the issue with water being inside the phone. So I did leave it intentionally a bit longer than normal, but because of that, the metal of this phone, the frame, is so hot. It's hard to touch. Temperature warning, you don't say. That is concerning. Do you notice what this is saying? It is on. It is on after it was heated up. I have had that happen in the past with another phone. So that may be, that it is definitely concerning. The screen has been replaced before. That's interesting. Just initially, I don't see any water damage, but I mean, a lot of it's covered up with plates, with shields. So I'm going to take the shields off. I would like to let the phone cool down and see if it starts doing that boot loop issue again. And after heating the phone up, it is doing this. Now, this bit here is making me a little bit concerned, simply because, I mean, the phone is still hot. There is a possibility it might start boot looping now. So I'm leaving it plugged in for now, and we'll see. They did remove it from their account, so hopefully this still... Oh, I dealt with them. They were easygoing to deal with, so if there is any issues, I'll be able to deal with it quick. So far, so good. Oh, that's great to see. This is a good opportunity to test it too. Face ID, just make sure it works. Yeah, it works. Great. So this phone was properly removed from their account. Now, I still need this phone to cool down. That's the only way that I'm going to know whether or not the issue is still present. And I know for a definite fact that I do need to replace the charge port on this phone. There's no way I'm not going to. I can't sell a phone when it has a busted up pin. It's just not a good idea. So I'm going to take a little look around and see what this phone's all about. Unknown display. So yeah, once again, we saw that it wasn't working properly there. Not working, that it was a replacement screen, aftermarket. 64 gigabytes storage, that's nice. And what's the battery health? 86%. That's doable. That means I don't need to replace the battery as long as the battery is functioning. Well, I've had it sitting here for quite a while, and it's got itself up to 59%. Clearly the charge port is working. I'm just concerned that that pin is going to eventually break. So I will be replacing the charge port. That's the entire ribbon assembly and all that stuff. So I'm going to put in a purchase for that part. But my guess of why putting it on the heating unit worked, maybe simply that maybe there was a bit of moisture and like there was some sort of spot on the motherboard, or maybe even the charge port itself. And after I had heated it up, it started working. Either that, or the other possibility may be that after I was poking around in the charge port itself, it's possible that when I was poking at the pins in there and I saw that one pin, maybe it had been crossed over on something and that was preventing it from booting correctly. That is also possible. So this has turned into a charge port replacement. So let's do that. It's been a little while, but I finally have got the charge port replacement for this phone. I'm also kind of wanting to leave the phone to sit for a little while, and mostly the reason is because that that boot loop issue just has me slightly nervous, and I wanted to see it just sit for a while and see if the issue popped back up again. It seems the battery's gone flat. That charge port feels so squishy, it is a little bit disturbing, I gotta say. I'm gonna try charging it instead with the wireless charger for now. Get some juice in it without using the charge port. It's spooking me a bit too much for my comfort. Alright, it's got a little bit of power in it now, 24%. I just wanted to see it turn on, to be honest. But I'm going to start diving in and doing the charge port replacement for this now, so let's get at that. Time for a test. We have that all together. Let's plug it in. I'm going to do some testing though. I really do need to make sure that this is working correctly, that it has a proper amp draw. So let's plug in our amp meter. Now if there is any of the tools that I am using in this video, or even some of the supplies like the isopropyl alcohol, I do have some Amazon affiliate links in the video description. What do we have? Good healthy draw. About 500 milliamps so far. At some point it should climb up more, should go to around 1 amp. It is more or less, it's charging. That's very good. I do want to see this charging at a little bit higher of a rate though. This is a little, I don't know, it's slightly off. I have another amp meter off screen that's in a stable location. I'd like to check it first. Yeah, it's a fast charger. It's at about 1.4 amps right now. So that's good. Let's just put her back together and this job will be done. Just snap her back together. I always like to start off with the front at the very top. Just give it a little bit of a light push. Wait a minute. How are the edges of this screen? Are they dirty? Nah, they're not. Okay. Sometimes they are, and you just need to take a quick swab with a little bit of alcohol on it and clean that up. I have some difficulties getting the screen in. Sometimes it's just the clips are a bit too far out. You just gotta push them a little bit to get them a bit better settled in. There we go. Let's throw the Penelope screws in. There we have it. It's done. Now I can't remember exactly how much money I spent on this. I think it was $60. It's either $40 or $60. But I was taking quite the chance on this creature. So here we are at the Facebook Fix and Flip spreadsheet, and what do we got here? Our iPhone 11 64GB cost us $60 initially. Parts were $12.50. I did buy the premium that is basically like an OEM original part, so it cost somewhere around $12. 50 cents at the end there is from the seal for the screen. Total expenses, $72.50. Now I estimate the value to be about $300. The phone has already sold, which is pretty cool, but it didn't sell in normal sense, hence why I've got this marked as $0, giving it earnings of minus $72.50. Why? It is because I didn't make any money off the sale. It was a trade. As you can see, I put this little note here. So the trade was for a whole bunch of phones that were all in various states of damaged. They all need some sort of repair. I know that there is at least one phone in that massive pile. If there's about 15 phones there, there's at least one phone that works. And I can easily make my money back with that, if not more. We'll see whether or not that was a deal worth making. Because if there's no phones that I can fix in there, it's going to be a minus against my total earnings in this. that's a pretty big minus right there. So hopefully this doesn't bite us. So if you guys like the video, please do leave a like. And if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.